lineup. Scottie Pippen, Horace Grant, Bill Cartwright, Michael Jordan, and Craig Hodges. 40 at the center, and Mark Price and Ron Harper in the backcourt. And we're underway. Cleveland has it. The officials working today, 3 highly experienced officials, Jack Madden, Jake O'Donnell, and Hugh Evans.
I look to go to Doherty. They must get him going early in the ball game. Not only is he a premier scorer, but he's also their best passer.
John Williams. This is the first shot of the game, and Price keeps it alive. Continuing the trend of Game 4, Cleveland getting just about all the loose balls. Ron Harper.
We should be looking for Michael Jordan to be catching the basketball with many opportunities at the top of the circle.
Scottie Pippen going to the hoop and is fouled. This is the way the series has gone. Only 3 points separate the two clubs. Chicago has outscored Cleveland by 3, and a dramatic Game 4 overtime affair when Michael Jordan, after a sensational 50-point effort, missed a free throw that would have given Chicago a 3-point lead, and Doherty made 2 key free throws down the stretch with 4 seconds to go in regulation. And Cleveland won in overtime. Doug Collins telling his man Pippen to settle down. Scottie Pippen has been the second leading scorer for the Bulls. His best game was the opener. He missed them both. Doherty the rebound. Long pass to Nance, who got hot the last 2 games against the Chicago Bulls, and illegal defense called against the Bulls.
Well, they caught the Bulls that time in something looked like a matchup zone press that time. 3 guys were caught away from the ball.
So Hodges is guarding Price. Hodges has to watch out for foul trouble. The Bulls need his 3-point shooting, and he has gotten into foul trouble more often than not in this series. Harper has hit his first 2 shots. So Michael Jordan is the point guard. He's going to try to set up other people. But basically for the Bulls, it's been a one-man gang offensively.
They're playing 2 men now, Jordan and Cartwright.
Cartwright scores. And one thing Doug Collins said to get more points from other people was to get the ball into Bill Cartwright.
Well, in Game 1 in this building, Dick, in the 3rd quarter, when Chicago opened it up, Michael Jordan only scored 2 points in that entire 3rd quarter.
12 on the shot clock. Williams starting his 2nd game. Mike Sanders had started every game prior to this one, prior to the last one. Nance with a 2nd effort. So Cleveland with the 2nd shots. Chicago cannot allow the Cavaliers to get 2nd shots today if they hope to win. Pippen with a good fake on Nance, but a wild shot.
Cleveland would like to have Pippen shoot as much as possible off the dribble. They feel he's a much better field goal percentage guy when he's standing still.
Here's Cartwright again with a familiar shot, and Bill Cartwright, getting off early, has scored the 4 Chicago points. Nance working against Pippen.
That's a tough cover right there.
Rebound by Grant, out ahead, an easy 2 points for Craig Hodges. But you're right, Hubie Brown, because one advantage that Lenny Wilkens feels he has is Nance against Scottie Pippen, and that's the big switch by putting Williams in there. Pippen has to guard Nance.
Well, he likes Nance as one of his prime-time scorers, but also because just in that last possession, Nance gets on the offensive board, and Pippen has done a poor job in the series in keeping this man out of it.
A turnover, an errant pass by Williams, and now Chicago with a 6-6 game and a foul called against the Cavaliers. It'll be their 2nd, and the foul against Mark Price. Well, here's a guy who has been courageous here. He has had a groin injury, did not play in the first game of the series, and has not shot well until the last half of the last game, and then he started to get hot. He is the best and maybe only solid outside shooter the Cavaliers have. Cartwright goes flying, no foul, good defense inside by the Cavaliers. Tied at 6, 8:35 to go in the first period. Harper. Rebound Grant, knocked away by Price. Williams.
See, today we have 2 excellent defensive rebounding teams. Neither team is what you would refer to as an animalistic offensive board team. but yet in the early going, Cleveland is showing that type of intensity.
A year ago, the Bulls won in 5 in a similar series. It was exactly a year ago today. They won at Chicago Stadium, but Cleveland has the home court advantage this time. Cartwright draws the foul. So no question that Cartwright is a man with a mission early here for Chicago.
Well, this is going to be a Brahma bullfight for the entire 48 minutes. Doherty and Cartwright down inside. Both of them are wide bodies, and they do have that little jump hook either way and a good drop step power moves to the basket.
Foul is on Ron Harper. Bill Cartwright has made a living in his career by going to the free throw line, averaging more than 10 free throws a game. Not so this season. He hasn't gotten the shots or the free throws as he has in the past.
Well, it's difficult to do if you only get 8 shot opportunities during the course of the year. He's accustomed to when he was in New York for the 6 or 7 years of getting that 15 to 16 shot opportunities.
And the coach got him the ball. The coach is my partner.
No, Red Holzman did a very good job.
Pass is deflected. Cavaliers having a lot of trouble getting that entry pass in, and Grant follows Jordan. And the Chicago Bulls lead by 2.
That's what makes Michael so sensational a player. You know you have to guard him off the dribble, but his vision and the unselfishness of getting the other people easy layup.
Mark Price takes a 3 and misses. It's tipped up and in by Doherty on the second try.
I'm very impressed with that front line today. Nance, Doherty, and Williams. You're talking about a lot of size on the offensive board.
And Chicago can't match up with it, frankly. They may have to bring Sellers in and switch Pippen to a guard position if it gets too tough for him.
Wait a second. What do you got? A crystal ball here?
Horace Grant misses in the rebound by Williams. Nearly 5 minutes gone by. Ron Harper, who's hot early, misses. Here's Williams, and he's fouled. The story for Cleveland has been second shots and making the most of them, and a timeout is called. Off to a terrific start.
Larry Nance is a premier scorer for Cleveland, and they feel that he's one of the top 10 field goal percentage guys in the league, and they know that he can get off the dribble, or he can hit the jump shot facing off of
96-92, and we'll move on to play Detroit. Horace Grant committed the foul, and John Hot Rod Williams makes good on the free throw. So far, Cleveland has scored 8 of their 11 points on second shots. So Chicago's got to do a better job of defensive rebounding. And the score now is 12-10 in favor of the Cavaliers, but Chicago hanging in there and not letting Cleveland get ahead by much.
It's interesting in the early going that Michael Jordan has not handled the ball coming up the floor that much.
Here's a three-point attempt that's good by Scottie Pippen. Remember, in game 1, when the Bulls won here in Cleveland, Pippen was 4 for 4 from three-point range.
Well, Pippen and Hodges 7 for 9 in that ball game, and that allows Jordan and Cartwright and Grant to operate in the paint.
Talk about operating. What about the open court? Harper, you give him an inch and he'll take it to you. Cleveland by 1. Jordan with his first shot of the game, and a driving layup.
Do you think that he got upset that Harper drove by him at the other end?
You know, that's been a terrific open court matchup. And Mark Price drives and scores. So both Cleveland guards have scored on layups. Pippen comes back, blocked out of bounds by John Williams.
If this is your first opportunity to see Cleveland, they are second in the league only to Golden State in shot blocking, and they've held up. They're averaging over 7 shot blocks a game in this playoff.
And it's mostly Manu Bol. Cleveland has a variety of shot blocking. Loop it in to Cartwright. Doherty defending. And here comes Price with a 1-point lead for Cleveland. Nance guarded by Cartwright now on the switch. The rebound is by Scottie Pippen. Michael Jordan has taken one shot, a driving layup, and it scored. Chicago trailing by 1 point. Each team has won one game on the road, and Cartwright bobbled a bounce pass into the post. Another turnover. Coming around the screen by Doherty. Hodges catching up to Price. In low to Doherty. There's that hook. Pippen with another nice rebound. That's 2 in a row by Scottie. 5:15 remaining first period. Dick Stockton and Hubie Brown here at sold-out Coliseum in Richfield. Grant. This is the turnaround, and a loose ball foul called against the Cavaliers.
Watch on this jump hook by Doherty. Pippen coming into the screen here on the right-hand side. What you like about Scotty is the fact that he's 6'8", mobile. Now, not only will he rebound, but he'll initiate the fast break coming out of there with a strong dribble.
Brad Doherty with his first foul, and the Cavaliers have 4. One more, and they're over the limit. Chicago has committed just 1 team foul in this period. Cartwright, Pippen has a good screen from the corner, and Scottie Pippen now with 5 points. And the Bulls lead by 2.
Excellent two-man game that time by Pippen, passing into the post and fading. Nice return pass by Cartwright.
And a foul away from the ball. And it will be on Craig Hodges, his first personal foul, and the second team foul against the Bulls.
You'll see as Price goes to try to cut, you had a bump by Hodges. He's not going to let Price get down into that low box area so that he'll initiate a screen.
They corrected the score. It is 17-16, not 18-16 as we report. Price tries to tie it up, and he does.
That's the first time that Price has come off of a pick and had a chance to set his feet.
Grant beat his man down court, but he couldn't connect on the layup. So Chicago misses a great opportunity, and the Cavaliers with Harper will set up the play, leading by 1. 4:10 to go, and now Sellers gets off the bench. Brad Sellers will come in the game for the Bulls.
Nice.
Nance from Doherty. Backdoor.
What I like so far is, if I'm coaching Cleveland, is their transition defense is excellent, and I like the intensity level shown by the Chicago Bulls and also their spacing.
Michael Jordan drives in and gets fouled. Jordan really has not been a factor in the Chicago offense thus far. Perhaps more of a defensive man.
How would you like to make a living trying to guard this guy one-on-one? Look at him off the dribble now. Almost impossible to handle, not only because of the dribbling ability, but once he elevates the extension and how he can change from hand to hand and get the shot up.
Greg Elo has reported to the game, and John Williams goes out. Larry Nance picked up his second personal foul, and here's Jordan on the line. Isn't it amazing, Hubie, how this guy scores 50 points and doesn't make every free throw, and people are saying, too bad Michael Jordan couldn't make the free throw to put it away. They would not have been in the position to even lose the game if it weren't for Michael. 1 of 2. Elo has checked in, as you saw. So there are 3 guards in there. Elo playing a forward spot. He can also be a guard. Doherty goes around Cartwright. And an offensive foul has been called against Brad Doherty, and that'll be his second personal.
Doherty feels the frustration. Let's watch and see if he hooks him with his left arm now. Watch, there he goes. Watch, there it is, right there with the hook. Excellent call by UB Evans.
Meanwhile, Larry Nance goes out. He has 2 fouls. Doherty stays in with his 2. Brad Sellers has come into the ball game for the Chicago Bulls. So up front, it's Sellers, Cartwright, and Pippen. Jordan has it knocked away by Harper. Elo's been playing with a sprained ankle, sidelined him for game 3. But hits the jumper in the lane, and the Cavaliers lead by 4.
Lenny Wilkins loves Elo's defense, and even though he came in as a forward, he's playing Michael Jordan, and they moved Harper from a guard position up front to play Scottie Pippen defensively.
Jordan goes up and scores. A beautiful play by Michael. He makes it look easy.
How about the challenging of every shot so far in the painted area at both ends?
Price ducks in against Hodges. Lost the ball to Cartwright. Here's a 3-on-2 situation for Chicago. Jordan. And an offensive foul called Jordan as he ran into Harper. Cleveland got back terrific, beautifully defensively.
Well, that was a tough catch in traffic for Michael to get the shot off or pass.
Points. 22-20 the Cavaliers. Mark Price, despite the groin injury, played 48 of the 53 minutes in game number 4. Trey Rollins, the shot blocker, the veteran 33-year-old performer, has also come in, and Craig Elo has hit his second in a row.
Lenny Wilkins made a statement to us earlier this season, and that is that he almost has to force Craig Elo to shoot And he wants them to because he feels he plays big in the pressure games.
But the biggest contribution he can make is defending Jordan, who goes low post against him. He posted Jordan up. But I'll tell you what, Elo will fight around any screen and really make Michael Jordan work hard when he has the ball.
Well, the name of the game is to make him work as much as possible. Hope for some form of fatigue at the end of the ball game.
Price hits. Price is off to a hot start.
There's very few players, Dick, in this league who read their defensive man better than Mark Price.
He's 3 for 4 from the field. In the last game, they just wanted him to set up other people for the first half to get loose. But he's starting out shooting and shooting well in this game. 1:25 remaining in the first period. Craig Hodges, who has yet to attempt a three-point shot. He's their big threat. 2 on the shot clock. Jordan, long range, short. And the Cavaliers again defend Chicago well. Harper goes in. No foul. A good non-call by Jake O'Donnell. And Chicago coming back with nearly a minute remaining in the first period. Trailing by 4.
That's the no non-call here in the NBA if you're trying to take a charge underneath that rim. You'll never get that call.
Pippen goes for another three-point shot. He misses. Jordan is there. No basket. And the foul will be against the Chicago Bulls. And Jordan has picked up his second personal foul.
You'll see it right here as Jordan backs up a watch. There's your hit. And, you know, when you kind of think about it, you know, that was almost a love tap. You know, they just get a little entangled that time. But this is a costly substitution right here.
Horace Grant will replace Jordan. Sam Vincent is in at guard. So the backcourt is Vincent and Pippen. And up front they have Corzine, Sellers, and Grant. So Scottie Pippen is playing a guard position now for Chicago. Harper loses the ball going in, didn't have control, and Jake O'Donnell has called traveling.
Oh, hold on.
He waved off Jack Madden, and Jack Madden will get it back on the call.
Yeah, Jack Madden had the grab first before the spin move into the travel violation.
You don't often see that as open with two officials disagreeing, but the main thing is that the right call is made.
Absolutely. Well, listen, we have 3 of the best here. You know, in the history of the NBA on this game today.
Both teams are in the penalty, and Ron Harper is on the line. The foul was on Pippen, his first personal. And Harper hits the free throw. He scored 31 points in the second game of the series, and that was his big one. That was a week ago today that got the Cavaliers back even on their home floor.
Well, he's alive today, Dick. He's got a lot of bounce to his movement. Lenny Wilkins loves him as the gambler in their defense, and then naturally in the open floor, one of the toughest guys in the league to cover.
Biggest lead of the first quarter by the Cavaliers is 6 with 27 seconds in the period and 13 on the shot clock. Corzine setting a screen. Price stays with Vincent. And Vincent gets the basket with a spin move inside.
Difficult shot. This is the group that must hold them close for anywhere from 4 to 6 minutes.
Jordan,
second unit.
Jordan on the bench with 2 fouls, and Sellers, Corzine, Vincent, 3 members of the second unit in there. 3 seconds to go in the first quarter. Harper fires a 3, and that'll do it. But a well-played first quarter. 5 after 1 period of play. So we start the second period. Dick Stockton and Hubie Brown, Sam Vincent and Scottie Pippen in the backcourt. Sellers, Grant, and Corzine up front. Michael Jordan remains on the bench, but he leads Chicago with 7. He has 2 personal fouls. Sellers picked up quickly by Mike Sanders, who's checked in the game. Pippen with 4 seconds on the shot clock. It's a wild shot. Cleveland now in the hands of Price. That's the man they want to handle the ball.
Excellent block that time by Elo.
Price for 3. He's got it. Mark Price.
You cannot fall asleep on Price, no matter where he is. One of the best in the history of basketball from 3-point range.
And that's saying a mouthful for a guy who's only in the infancy of his career. Corzine, the veteran, shooting outside and missing. Price the rebound, and they lose it out of bounds as Elo and Price collided. But notice that the Bulls aren't even coming close to getting second shots in this game.
See, when this unit's on the floor, Dick, they've been struggling the last 3 times down. Whatever they're running, they are not freeing the initial guy in order to get, you know, penetration off the dribble. I just don't like what I see so far.
Well, all Doug Collins wants is to plug the dike with this unit. Grant comes in strong against Sanders, and that's the way of doing it. And it's 31-26. 5-point game. Rollins at center. Doherty starts off the second quarter on the bench. Elo coming off a screen. The rebound by Corzine. Opening minutes of the second period. Year ago, the Bulls won 3 games to 2. But they didn't have the home court advantage, which the Cavaliers have here. Cavs swept the Bulls 6-0 in the regular season. The series has been a far cry. Corzine. And it's going to be Chicago's ball and a new clock. The second chance points, Cleveland, 10 of their 31 points, most of them early, as Michael Jordan will return to the game. He's coming back with 2 personal fouls. And Ron Harper, his shadow, also checks in, and a hand for Craig Elo as he leaves. Harper's their man on Jordan. Pippen getting a rest right now. Jordan scooping his way in with a basket and 9 points for Michael Jordan. He has averaged nearly 39 in the 4 games against the Cavaliers. Vincent has the tough assignment of guarding Mark Price. And he has inside Williams against Grant. Corzine, the veteran, has done a good job in blocking out and getting the ball off the defensive glass. Here's the pass to Sellers. Short jumper, and he hits it.
Any time that the Chicago Bulls rebound and make that first outlet, they have been able to get numbers at the other end of the floor. I'm just surprised with this unit that's on the floor right now that they're not trying to push every single first pass out of there.
The Bulls have run off 6 in a row to cut the lead to 1. Price off a screen and a runner. Gets his own rebound. What a scrappy battler he is, but that shot is blocked away. Michael Jordan, Harper defending.
Oh, yes.
Sellers walks.
I want to tell you something. That was a great pass. But Sellers was not looking for the pass, and it turns into a turnover.
He was admiring him like we were. Grant along with Cartwright and Sellers, Jordan and Pippen. So Pippen is playing a guard position now. Ducking in, and Jordan, this is the shot, goes after his own loose ball, and here comes Harper. Open court, dangerous player. 6:25 remaining in the first half. 37-34 Cleveland. Inside to Doherty. Rushed his shot. The rebound, Sellers lost it. Williams tries to save it. And it's going to be Cleveland's ball and a new clock.
Brad Doherty has a very severe hip pointer, and any time that you have that in a football or in basketball, you know that stretching and extending, especially a guy who relies on the hook shot, you're in a lot of trouble.
Sellers leaves the game, and Craig Hodges comes back in, so Pippen then moves to a forward position. Collins has used Pippen at guard against Atlanta and Milwaukee previously this year. Nearly halfway through the second period. Good inside-out passing by the Cavaliers, and Craig Elo has hit a 3. Elo now with 7 points, and if Elo and Price are hitting the long-range shots, that's going to spell trouble for Chicago. 40-34 in favor of the Cavaliers. Michael Jordan trying to make things happen. The pass is thrown off of Cartwright. Harper, no-look pass to Nance. And Doug Collins will call a timeout.
Now watch this last play of Michael Jordan coming off on the pick and roll. And as Bill Cartwright steps up, you'll see Williams come right into the action here on a rotation. Now Michael Jordan comes off of Cartwright, beautiful pick and roll. Now here is the pass, which was every bit catchable. And you'll see the pass by Michael to Cartwright, and Williams steps right into the play on a perfect rotation defensively. But that ball was definitely catchable. Instead of the game being 4 points, and now transition fast break makes it an 8-point ball game.
Biggest lead of the game for the Cavaliers with 5:34 remaining in the first half. The Chicago Bulls are 8 for 14 from the perimeter. That's pretty good for them because that's critical that they hit the outside shot. They're down by 8. Jordan in the corner. Hodges has it blocked by Harper into the hands of Hodges, and Cartwright hits the jumpers. Quick reaction on both sides there, and Hodges with the quickest.
Well, I'm really impressed with the Cleveland defensive rotation. They are flying at the three-point shooters.
Pippen has the only three-point basket for the Bulls. Price and Elo have three-point hoops for Cleveland. Overplaying, Pippen knocks the ball away from Nance. And Chicago, slow to be aggressive, to say the least. And finally, Cartwright has it.
See, this group is excellent.
Pippen is fouled and will shoot two.
Now just keep a good eye on Cleveland defensively. You'll see the pass, and here goes Harper challenging the three-point shooter. Now they know that Hodges and also Pippen, they're trying to cut down on the many three-point opportunities.
Scottie Pippen, who is shooting under 70% from the line, misses the free throw. He's 0 for 3 in this game. The foul, by the way, was on Ron Harper. Team fouls. Cleveland has 3, Chicago 2. There's Mark Price back in the game talking with Lenny Wilkins, who will be inducted into the Hall of Fame in Springfield, Massachusetts, the day after tomorrow. Pippen connects on one. It's 42-37. The lead is 5 for Cleveland. That's how much time remains in the first half. Cavaliers led by 4 after 1 period. Cleveland getting their points from the guard position. A block by Cartwright. Fine play. A 3-on-1 break. Hodges back to Jordan. And Jordan misses a slam out of bounds. It'll be Cleveland's ball. So I think what Michael Jordan, with all his greatness, has to do is still play in control for him.
Well, this was an excellent pass back. You just don't see Michael. How many times during the course of the season you ever see him miss a power dunk? But I'm impressed with Chicago getting out on the break. They have had some excellent opportunities.
Michael Jordan, meanwhile, has missed his last 4 shots. He is not having a good shooting game thus far. Good roll by Nance. Laid it in softly off the high glass. 7-point Cleveland lead. Michael Jordan has scored 9 points, but has been cold from the field, basically. Cartwright, guarded by Doherty, who has 2 fouls. Cartwright with a familiar fall-away spin shot.
Billy's playing real big today, Dick.
12 points.
And every time they hit him down inside, if you notice on the release of the shot, he's getting banged a little bit, but the shots are true.
Looking inside for Doherty. Behind the back, fancy pass by Harper. Doherty inside is foul. That's the third team foul against Chicago.
See, we have 2 players down in that low post area that have excellent drop step power moves. Very difficult to defend.
Elo and Price up front. Doherty.
This is their 2-man game. It's Doherty and Price all the way.
Doherty is fouled before the shot. And that'll be the 14th foul against the Chicago Bulls. And it's the 3rd against Cartwright, so he has picked up 3 quick ones and has to come out of the game for Dave Corzine. A tough blow for the Bulls because Cartwright, with 12 points, is the leading scorer for Chicago, and while Jordan is cold from the field, offensively has kept Chicago in the game. We're at Richfield Coliseum. Dick Stockton and Hubie Brown. There's the lob pass from Doherty to Nance, who's pushed. And the penalty situation is in effect. A fine pass by Brad Doherty, and Nance will shoot 2.
In this quarter, you must be impressed with how easy Cleveland are finding the people on either backdoor moves in the painted area or any time that Chicago double teams, they're finding 3 guys cutting.
Horace Grant called for the foul, his 3rd. So Grant and Cartwright, each with 3 fouls. Grant will stay in the game, but Sellers now gets off the bench. Nance makes good on the free throw. The Cavaliers have struggled in a big way from the free throw line in this series, but not so today, where they are a perfect 5 for 5 from the line. Grant out of the ball game. He has scored 6 points and has been a tremendous rebounder for the Bulls in this series. Nance can make only one, and Sellers, who replaced Grant, has the rebound. 45-39 Cleveland. We're getting close to the 3-minute mark of this first half. Jordan off the screen, finds an opening. See you later. A left-handed layup. 11 now for Michael Jordan. Under 3 minutes to go, and it's a 4-point lead. And when you consider Jordan has 11 points, Chicago very much in the game. Foul trouble, though, could be a dilemma for them. Inside out, Doherty to Harper. Rebound, Pippen. Hodges loses the ball. Jordan saves it beautifully. Pippen goes for three. Jordan, right place at the right time. And a foul called against the Cleveland Cavaliers, a loose ball foul, their fourth team foul.
As Hodges goes to make it, watch Michael Jordan on the baseline side and have the presence to throw the ball out to the free player.
Meanwhile, Brad Doherty has picked up his third personal foul, and Tree Rollins will come in. Rollins has played well as a shot blocker, holding the fort, but Doherty goes out having scored only 2 points. He has not been a prolific scorer in this series, scoring 7 points under his season's average, and Doherty on the bench now. We'll call Elo with the foul, and the penalty situation is in effect, and Jordan will go to the line to shoot 2, and will try to cut the Bulls' deficit to a bucket.
Well, Craig Elo tried to deny Michael Jordan from posting up that time, but Jordan is so smart that the left arm, he just shielded Elo off, and they had a little collision that time.
I don't think there's any question now as we've watched these playoffs that there's no greater individual performer in the league than Michael Jordan. He missed the free throw with 2:18 remaining. Chicago is having its problems from the strike this afternoon. They have connected on only 6 of 11. That's not good.
No, and they are a 78% foul shooting team in this playoff and during the course of the regular season. Michael Jordan averaging over 13 foul shot attempts in the 4 previous games.
So Jordan and Cartwright each with 12 lead the Bulls, and Harper with 12, the top point man for the Cavaliers. Jordan almost asking Elo to take the 3, who didn't do it. Passed it up. Now he might. He does. And the rebound again by Pippen, and Price knocked it away, and they're going to call a foul against Scottie Pippen. But Mark Price, who is playing with a groin injury that's hurting him, hustling out of his mind in this game.
Well, it's the old story of when you rebound a ball, do not bring the ball down below your number, because now you're letting the guards to get in there and possibly cause a turnover or to put a free ball out on the floor.
So here's Price, a 90% free throw shooter. Scottie Pippen with his second personal foul. Both teams are now on the penalty with 1:54 remaining in the first half. The Cavaliers have not been able to break away from the Chicago Bulls in this first half. And the longer Chicago can hang in the game with Michael Jordan, the presence, the more confident they could become in the fourth quarter. This is the 5th and deciding game of round number 1. Winner will play the Knicks. The loser is done for the year.
Excellent defensive rotation.
4 on the shot clock. Scottie Pippen, a wild 3. Jordan outfights Price for the rebound and a new clock. Jordan scored 50 points in game 4, 44 in the previous game, but his outside shot is not there in this first half.
That pick and roll is open, though. Every time that they run it, they can get the open jump shot or the roll man.
Double Nance. Open as Williams, goes strong to the hoop, and it's fouled. May have been Sellers on the personal, but an alert move by Williams, who saw the opening.
See, that's what you love to see when you're coaching. That guys, when they make that catch, that they understand that they can get to the basket and they take a strong move to the basket. You see, he was going for the power dunk. And that way he knows that the worst he's going to get is 2 foul shots. And what he really wants is to get the dunk and the foul.
John Williams showing Cleveland missing only 1 free throw thus far. Williams been the 6th man all season long until the last game of this series, when he started in place of Mike Sanders, and the big front line paid off for the Cavaliers. Under a minute to go, 48-42 Cleveland. First half. Hodges. Short. Tell you, Mark Price is not giving him an inch.
No, he isn't. And every time Hodges takes a shot, Price is right up there contesting.
Biggest lead for the Cavaliers, 6 points. They were in a position to stretch it to 8, and Scottie Pippen on a high flyer over Nance cuts it instead to 4. This game has had an ebb and flow like we haven't seen so far in the first 4 games of the series.
Well, if I'm Doug Collins, I know, listen, Michael is not on a rampage today. We're only 4 down. We only got 30 seconds to go right now, and our transition game is outstanding.
Hardwood on the bench with 3 fouls. So is Horace Grant. You'll need both of them before this is over. Elo misses a 3. Jordan with 15 seconds to go, and the Bulls playing for the last shot of a tremendously exciting and well-played first half of Game 5.
It is a tough cover for Price. They have to double team.
Jordan goes in and draws the foul, and there's almost no way you could avoid fouling him the way he got around Price. Tree Rollins committing the foul, and Jordan will go to the line to shoot 2. Here's Charles Davis, who is coming in for defensive purposes. He's been a scrapper off the bench in the latter stages of the season. Jordan is 2 for 4 from the line in this game.
Well, Michael's an 85% foul shooter in the playoffs, 85% foul shooter during the course of the year.
That says a mouthful. 22nd timeout called by the Cavaliers, and right now Lenny Wilkins is setting up his last shot attempt with 3 seconds to go.
What you do not want to have happen is that a player releases and goes long and catches a long pass. And that way, then on the catch, they're already over half court. The object is make your offensive player come back to the basketball.
Well, Pat O'Brien coming up at the half. Highlights of the Milwaukee Shocker over Atlanta. Charles Davis will be guarding Craig Elo. That's one of the defensive jobs that he has, is guarding Elo. See, Seattle has taken the lead. Jordan has 1 free throw with 3 seconds to go. They have Price, Harper, and Elo, 3-point shooters. Jordan makes it. 3 seconds to go. Williams tosses in. Price, and they can't get it off. So the Chicago defense deserves some credit. They limited Cleveland to only 1 basket in the last 5.5 minutes, and that's the end of the first half with the score. The Cavaliers 48.
The rebounders in this game. Michael Jordan with 3 and Mark Price with 3.
Yeah, and he has fought hard to get them. Underway in the second half. Hodges and Jordan at guard. Up front, it's Grant, Cartwright, and Pippen. And Grant throws it away. Again, Cavaliers just shutting down the inside. Chicago shot 44%, Cleveland an even 50%. John Williams open for the shot and hits it. Leading scorers, Mark Price with 13 for Cleveland, and Jordan has 14 for Chicago. Grant inside working against John Williams. Short on the hook shot. Here's Nance. 2 good defensive sequences by the Cavaliers. That shooting was 44%, by the way, for Chicago. Doherty and Cartwright. See if anyone gets 4. And the basket will not count. And the foul is on Grant. That's his 4th foul. So foul trouble has affected Chicago right off the start of this 3rd quarter. And Grant will have to sit down with 4, replaced by Sellers.
Sellers played extremely well in Game 4 on Friday night in Chicago. Gave them a big lift offensively as well as on the boards.
And on the boards is the key. That's one thing he hasn't given Chicago much of. Always has had the outside shooting touch. 50-46. So Grant with 4 on the bench. Hodges is on Price. And a 3-second violation. Grant Doherty was in the lane. He turned it over.
Yeah, we're seeing an excellent battle defensively between Doherty and Billy Cartwright. You know, they're both trying to maneuver around inside, and they're countering one another with physical force. Excellent job.
Harper is guarding Jordan. Cartwright is out there to set a screen. Jordan using Cartwright as a pick man and hits his first shot of the second half. Jordan scored 7 in the first quarter and 7 in the second.
See, I like Michael Jordan at the top of the circle in the middle of the floor. It's so hard to double team without getting burned.
Harper hits the shot from outside. Ron Harper with 14. The starting backcourt of Price and Harper have 27 points. Cleveland by 4, 52 to 48. 2 minutes elapsed in the third quarter. Dick Stockton and Hubie Brown along with James Brown. Richfield Coliseum. The winner will place the New York Knicks in the Eastern semifinals. The loser is done. Hodges throws the ball away into the hands of Williams.
Interesting, Chicago has had 2 turnovers trying to feed the post.
And stepping on the line out of bounds, and Chicago's fortunate because of the turnovers the other way.
Now watching this picture, how Michael Jordan will use Cartwright one way, come back the other, and Cartwright a little bit of a moving pick on Harper that time.
Jake O'Donnell had signaled that one of the Cavaliers stepped on the line. It was Chicago ball. Cavs didn't think so, and then he gave the signal again, and that's why you heard the crowd reaction. Let's see if the Bulls can improve upon their entry passes inside. The Cavaliers have just shut them off tight. Hodges from the corner rims a 3. Cartwright gets the rebound, and he's called for too many steps traveling. It was a good offensive rebound by Bill, though.
That's the first time we've seen Hodges wide open all game today, where he had an uncontested 3-point shot.
Credit Mark Price. He's the blanket on him. Cleveland had a big rebounding edge in the first period, and Chicago turned it around in the second. And on the shot clock. Wild pass knocked away by Hodges, and Price might have hooked Hodges. They didn't call it. I thought Price had fouled Hodges a little bit.
24-second clock.
So in any event, it's Chicago ball.
This is the playoffs, and here we have 2 great team players right here, guys that lay it out the entire time they're on the floor. And the reason why that was a 24-second possession is that no team, Chicago never regained possession of that basketball.
Little more than 3 minutes gone by in the third quarter. 52 to 48, the Cavaliers by 4. Their biggest lead was 8 points. Michael Jordan hits one, a 3-point basket by Jordan. The second 3-point hoop of the game by the Bulls. He has 19 points, and the Cavaliers lead is cut to a single digit. Hodges on Price. Doherty against Cartwright. Spins inside and a foul. It might have been Jordan.
Now this will be an interesting call. Is it Jordan or Cartwright?
And it's on Bill Cartwright. That'll be 4 on Cartwright. So with 4 minutes or so gone by in the third quarter, both of the Bulls in foul trouble. Horace Grant and Bill Cartwright have picked up their 4th personal foul. So Doug Collins, who does not have a real deep bench to begin with, has to go to Corzine to replace Cartwright. So Sellers and Corzine have replaced 2 front court men, and now you wonder, it's amazing how the Bulls have hung in there with the situation.
Now Michael Jordan is over talking to Jake O'Donnell. They thought that they had Doherty, Cartwright, and Jordan. They thought they had him trapped behind the backboard that time, and they felt that he jumped into them.
Doherty hits the free throws. He made 2 clutch free throws with 4 seconds to go and said, I knew I was going to make it when I went to the line in regulation Friday. Jordan, not to be denied, goes in and is fouled. Cleveland doesn't like that call, but you can see this is the first time today Jordan said, I'm not going to be denied on this foray.
Well, see, any time that he takes the ball from the opposite foul line and comes up in the middle of the floor here, Harper's trying to bump him, a little hand checking and another bump, but it's just impossible to guard him. And then when he breaks the foul line, the extension is beautiful.
Foul was on Williams, his first. Team fouls. 1 against the Cavs, 2 for Chicago. Jordan going for his 21st point. His worst scoring game of the series was in game 2 when he scored 30. That's his worst game. Right now, he has been the big man for the Bulls. He has scored all of the 7 Chicago points this period. Pippen might have gotten a piece of Nance inside.
See, we've just played 3 minutes and 30 seconds. And the interesting thing is that they have not gone to Nance before this. Now, this is the same matchup that we had at the beginning of the game that Nance was taking advantage of, that they were looking for early.
He has scored only 9 points, and so that's a puzzle. Meanwhile, Pippen with his 3rd foul. So the front line of the Chicago Bulls hampered with foul trouble. On the switch, Corzine has Price. Fires a 3 and hits it.
And let me tell you something. That was a big-time 3. Dribbling to his left, going away from the basket, stopping on a dime and hitting a 3.
His second 3-point basket of the game. He's got 16, and Jordan lays it in. Jordan has 23. I don't know who's the greatest player. I guess Jordan is in this series without doubt, but Price will have to be the most courageous considering that groin injury and the way he's performed on it.
Is there anybody that has a better hesitation dribble than Michael Jordan?
Cavaliers tried a looping pass, turned it over. Here it is, Jordan again.
See that little hesitation move, and he gets the defensive man to just relax, and then it's the explosion.
And Williams didn't want any part of trying to get another foul. 57-55, tipped by Harper. Great defensive play by Harper. Gets the ball back from Doherty. 3-on-1 break, and Sellers with a good foul on Larry Nance. He prevented the easy stuff.
No layups today. I mean, you must challenge. See, watch this bad pass. You see, that was a pass into a pivot player who did not call for the ball because he was fighting for position. Now, we have seen the Chicago Bulls this quarter throw the ball away 3 times because they did not allow the post-up guy an opportunity to get up and play big. And that's what you must do.
Speaking of big, how about Seattle with a lead over Seattle in the over LA, I should say. It's not an inter-squad game, maybe, in the 3rd quarter.
Yes.
Cleveland by 4. I'm amazed that the Cavaliers only have a 4-point lead considering the fact that the Bulls don't have their front court people in.
Watch this high pick and roll.
By Corzine. Sellers. But Williams picked them up nicely. Boy, Cleveland's defense is just airtight right now.
Yeah, but bad spacing by Chicago.
5 seconds on the shot clock. Saved by Sellers. Hodges fires a 3. And great Hodges, whose 3-point basket, only his 2nd hoop. And it's a 1-point Cleveland lead. Price with a left-handed layup. Beautiful play by Mark Price. Price has 18. This is a classic playoff game, a decider. Knocked away as Sellers and Jordan try to score. Price is coming back. Throws it away. But until Hodges hit the 3, all of the points in this quarter for the Bulls came from Michael Jordan.
Lenny was a little excited that time. But watch this move by Price. How's that for a beautiful left-handed change?
This is a game to admire. Hanging on to the lead. They've led most of the way, but have not been able to stretch it. Hodges trying to post up against Price for the moment. Now comes out. Now posting up is Jordan against Harper. Great turnaround move by Michael. He has 25 points, 11 here in the 3rd. There's the foul story, and it affects Grant and Cartwright in particular for Chicago. 61-60, the Cavaliers in front. Under 6 minutes to go now. Price cutting in the middle. Sellers 7-footer in front of him. 5 on the shot clock. Price goes for the 3 and hits it. Why are they letting Price that room to hit the 3?
Well, he had a mismatch that time, Dick. He had a forward picking him up, and he did not want to get beaten off the dribble.
3 3-point baskets by Mark Price. He has the shooting eye back for sure. Jordan battling Doherty out of bounds, and it's still Chicago ball. Good hustle by Michael against the taller Doherty. 2 former teammates at Chapel Hill in North Carolina. But there's 2 players Doug Collins would long to have out there now. Cartwright and Grant.
A lot of firepower. Your inside power game is sitting down.
The lead is 4 for Cleveland. Chicago comes close. Price hit the 3. Jordan wide open. Off the screen, and Michael Jordan with 27 in the game all of a sudden. Keep in mind, if the Bulls can stay close going into the 4th quarter, they always have a chance to win with Jordan, and the Cavaliers really hanging tough, have the edge in this game. Williams with a wild shot, a rare bad shot for the Cavs. Nance drawing the foul, gets the basket to boot.
We're talking about a guy who has been left out of the offensive attack in this quarter. That was some shot. Cleveland lucky to get a loose ball here, but watch this shot.
Michael Jordan's third personal foul. You cannot consider it to be foul trouble yet. If he picks up 4, then he has foul trouble. And there you see how Jordan has been the sizzling source for Chicago here in the third quarter. But the Bulls still trail by 5 thanks to three-point plays by Price and Nance. Pippen inside to Hodges. Feeds Sellers. Blocked by Nance.
That shot blocking threat is always there. And it's just more than one guy.
Harper coming around a screen, winding his way in. Banks it in. Timeout will be called by Doug Collins, and the crowd erupts. A great weapon for the Cavaliers right here.
Well, you'll see the quickness of Larry Nance coming there for the shot block. That is his 12th shot block in this 5-game series. But he is in the top 5 in the league. And when you also add Williams, who is the 11th shot blocker, and Tree Rollins, the second best in the history of the game behind Kareem, you know that they got a lot of firepower.
Scottie Pippen misses a 3. Out of bounds, Cleveland ball. Michael Jordan has scored 13 of Chicago's 16 points in the quarter. Craig Hodges' three-pointer, the other 3. It's been a one-man show, and right now, Chicago trying to stay with Cleveland. The Cavaliers have opened up a 7-point lead. Jordan the rebound on Nance's miss. Nance has scored 14, but Price with 21 leads. Question is, when is the decision time for Doug Collins to go back to Grant and Cartwright, who are on the bench with 4 fouls, while the bench has given up a lead to the Cavaliers. Porzingis hits the shot, and that's a bonus.
Well, he's trying to buy time to the beginning of the fourth quarter, even down into the 10-minute mark. But, you know, you watch this very closely. You cannot let the lead get to 10 or more.
3 minutes and 18 seconds to go. Doherty. Only the 6th point for Brad Doherty. Second field goal for Brad.
Well, you must contest the power people when they're down inside there. You've got to challenge the shot.
Porzingis setting a screen. Jordan goes right around Doherty. Too hard on the reverse layup. Here's Mark Price. They can open up a 9-point lead with a basket here, or 10. Doherty setting screens. 10 on the shot clock. Hodges playing Price tight, and the ball is thrown. Doherty wasn't looking for the pass inside, and it bounced off his head. Meanwhile, Charles Davis replaces Scottie Pippen, who goes out with 8 points and 3 personal fouls.
You'll see Doherty down in here and Porzingis backing around. Now, see, here comes the pass right now. But it goes back to what we told you earlier. You do not throw the ball to a post guy until he calls for the basketball.
2.5 to go in the third. Jordan leaves it for Hodges. His second 3-point basket of this quarter for Craig Hodges cuts the lead to 4.
Could not have come at a better time.
So Porzingis and Hodges have hit perimeter shots last 2 times down. Price goes right by Porzingis. Nance, the offensive rebound, swatted away by Sellers.
Close, but that was on the way up, Dick.
Wayne Embry, the Cleveland general manager, looks calm, but inside you've got to know he's churning. Cavaliers looking to get beyond the first round for the first time under this regime of Embry and Wilkins. Price. Elo almost had that rebound. It bounced away. Less than 2 minutes to go in the third. Jordan loses the ball out of bounds. Is he trying to do too much?
Yeah, a little bit too much right now, but that was excellent defense by Larry Nance. He was able to get a piece of it on that crossover.
You'd rather have a guy try to do too much if his name is Jordan, the way he plays. 1:40 remaining in the third. Harper with a pick and roll, throws the ball away. Nance is claiming he was pushed by Porzingis, gets no satisfaction from Jack Madden.
Well, he was held that time, and you could see it. He was grabbed right around the waist, so there was no way that he could move on that back door.
That's the 7th Cleveland turnover this period. That's a lot for a well-drilled team defensively, offensively like the Cavs. Jordan, Corzine fighting for the offensive boards, and good hustle by Corzine.
You'll see, look at the jockeying going on right now between Sellers and Nance. You see, now they're both complaining, but you could see Sellers' right hand.
But Nance had him first, and it was like a draw.
Well, isn't it a little bit like the NFL when you're going out for a fly pattern?
You know this stuff.
That's right.
John Williams is in for Nance, who goes out with 14.
Well, Nance a little frustrated.
And Sam Vincent will give Michael Jordan a rest. So let's look at the score, 71-67, as Jordan goes to the bench. This is a thrilling game. Deciding game. Corzine misses.
Bad shot opportunity.
Harper. Elo back to Doherty. Good pass by Elo that time.
Chicago never recovered from the unorthodox shot at the one end, and they were slow in their transition.
They were out of balance on the court. 49 seconds to go in the period, and Craig Hodges. That is a 2-point basket for Hodges, but he has scored 8 of his 10 points here in the third. 73-69, the Cavaliers. They led by 4 after 1 quarter, 2 at the half. Pick and roll. Price nearly lost it. There's Elo, and they'll call the foul against Sellers, I believe, of the Bulls.
In this sequence, you'll see a great pass to Doherty coming right down the middle from Elo. What they call that give-and-go basketball.
Brad Doherty gets a big hand. The crowd had been on him a little bit. Some letters to the newspapers here. He's only 23 years old and is going to be one of the best centers in the league. Pretty close with 8 points and 8 rebounds, a game high. Elo, however, misses the free throw. He did make the free throw. Tree Rollins comes in for Doherty. And Price goes out. Elo makes them both. 2 free throws for Craig at 75-69. He's been playing despite a sprained ankle that kept him out of the third game of the series. There's the time remaining. 19 on the shot clock. Differential of 4 seconds. Now 8 on the shot clock. Hodges coming around a screen to get his own rebound and will fire up a 3. In and out. Williams the rebound with 3 seconds to go. And Elo can't get it off in time. So Cleveland increases their lead. Jordan getting 13, but Mark Price has really come out of a shooting slump, plagued by the groin injury with tremendous shooting in the last 2 games. So it's Darnell Valentine starting at guard with Harper. He's got Rollins, Williams up front, in fact, and Elo. Cartwright and Grant are both in there for the Chicago Bulls. Elo wide open. Big shot to start the fourth.
Big pass by Valentine.
An 8-point lead now. But keep in mind that both Horace Grant and Bill Cartwright, who are playing with 4 personal fouls, are starting. So Doug Collins didn't want to buy any more time. 4 personals on each of the 2 big men for Chicago. Matching the biggest lead of the game right now for Cleveland. Jordan is bottled up and is fouled. It'll be on Rollins.
Anytime that Jordan comes off of that pick and roll inside of 15 feet, they are automatically trapping him and making it extremely difficult. That time he had 3 guys on him, and he could not find the free people.
Scottie Pippen is back in the lineup as well. He has hit only 3 of 11, and the Bulls are going to need some offense from him in the 4th quarter. But they're going to close in on the Cavaliers. There's Hodges. Saved a pass over his head. 8 on the shot clock. Jordan against Elo. Elo hanging in there with him. Tipped up and in by Grant. It was off the mark. Elo had done a remarkable defensive job, but Grant was Johnny on the spot. Here's Elo at the other end. That's a 2-point basket by Craig.
2 drives to the baskets by the Cavaliers. Chicago played him perfectly, and the player found the free guy for the basket.
Jordan going around Elo, going around everyone, runs into Williams. And they're going to call the foul on John Williams. That'll be the second team foul on Cleveland.
On this release by Michael, there was no chance at that. He was behind the board. Elo got a piece of that shot, but excellent timing by Grant, coming right down the middle on that.
Michael Jordan going for his 28th and 29th points of the game. Trying to cut the Cavalier lead to 6. Cleveland playing at home. They suffered only 4 home losses all year, and no one had a better home record during the regular season. But they dropped game 1 to Chicago on this floor and trying to make the 5th game a charm on their home floor, leading by 6. Winner faces the New York Knicks this week. The loser concludes the season. Less than 2 minutes gone by in this 4th period.
Chicago switching all around.
Rollins posting up against Cartwright. Gets the rebound into the hands of Hodges. Hodges forces it up and gets tipped up and in by Grant. He didn't force it up, he pushed it up. Don't want to make that mistake. It was a good play by Hodges, but Grant with another big tip in.
Big tip by Grant, but how about the hard push of the basketball by Hodges?
Elo going strong in, nearly lost it. It's a 4-point Cavalier lead. Can't shake the Bulls in this 5th and deciding game, at least not yet. Elo with a fake on Pippen, who blocks the shot from behind. A wild play by Elo. Pippen, good defense, 3-on-2 break. Pippen goes in and is fouled by Darnell Valentine. So Lenny Wilkins still has maybe another gray hair in his head because the Chicago Bulls have come back. All right, well, Rick Pitino already said they prefer Chicago because of the home court. We can't blame him for that. Scottie Pippen struggling from the field and from the line. We're at the Coliseum in Richfield, Ohio. Dick Stockton and Hubie Brown along with James Brown. Game 5, we're in the 4th quarter, the deciding game of this series. Series is 2-2. Scottie Pippen 2 for 6 from the free throw line, and it's a 3-point Cleveland lead. Cartwright and Grant. Again, we can't emphasize enough the fact that they're playing with 4 personal fouls.
Well, they're trying to go to Nance on Pippen.
They double team him on the carry, and there is Elo with a 3. Greg Elo, who led Cleveland in a losing cause with 19 in the first game, has hit his second 3-point basket.
See, they had to double team that time, and by doing so, that opened up the ball movement.
Michael Jordan comes back with 2 with under 9 minutes to play. Elo with 16, Harper 16. Price has 21. Nance with 14. He got hot the last 2 games. Knocked away by Hodges. Price kicks it away. Recovers it. Cleveland is hustling well as they have throughout all 5 games. They're going to call Pippen with the foul.
It's foul. You know, you're out there, there's only 2 seconds on the shot clock. As a defensive player, you know that you cannot see the clock, but all you have to do is keep the man outside the top of the circle.
And maybe you can if you look at the other end to see the 24-second clock.
Very difficult to do, old-timer.
4 fouls now on Scottie Pippen, who's struggling today. Milwaukee beat Atlanta 3 games to 2. Roberts and Pierce, 2 of the heroes. They'll play Detroit 4 out of 7. Winner here goes against the Knicks. Crowd is behind the Cavaliers. They haven't always been. They've gotten a little spoiled with the way they have slacked off. They won 57 games, and this is a great franchise, but this is a crucial possession here. Nearly halfway through this 4th period. Harper from the corner. And the rebound by Pippen, and he's fouled by Nance. A loose ball foul against Cleveland. Do you see some of the air coming out of Cleveland's balloon in the last couple of minutes?
Yeah, but Dick, what's happening gives Chicago, you know, primetime stars here for their defensive rotations. They are forcing Cleveland into bad shot opportunities, and then previous to this play, they've been able to get the ball out and make it happen in the open floor.
Pippen has struggled from the free throw line, only 2 for 6. This is the first free throw. But the Bulls have run off 10 in a row since Cleveland led by 6. Now on the foul story, the Cavaliers are already over the limit, and the Bulls have committed only 1 team foul. 87-82, Chicago by 5. Their biggest lead. They haven't seen the lead since midway of the first quarter. Mark Price trying to bring his team back is fouled by Hodges, and he'll shoot a pair.
Well, this is the first real good opportunity that Price has had since he came back into the ball game in this fourth quarter.
Doug Collins started the fourth quarter with Grant and Cartwright and 4 fouls, and they're still out there with 4. Mark Price, though, with 22 points. Come back and shown today, and in fact in game 4, why he is the player that Lenny Wilkins can least do without. The lead is 3. There's the time remaining in the fourth quarter. Michael Jordan has scored 35 in the game, had 14 at the half. 9 on the shot clock. Pippen. Harper doesn't go for the fake. Nance, good position on the rebound. Harper runs the floor. Foul. Basket good. And you know this is where the Cavaliers are toughest, QB, when Harper gets out on the open floor and they get him.
Now just watch Harper out in that right lane. He's just a blur. He blew right by the table here, really on the move. And Hodges, the old story, never let a guy get an uncontested layup at this time of the game.
Missed the free throw, Pippen the rebound. So the Bulls still lead by a point.
Foul shot opportunity. Chicago has missed 8, Cleveland 3.
That's a turnaround because Cleveland had struggled from the line in a big way in the first 4 games. They couldn't get it to Cartwright. The ball thrown away and a critical turnover. So the Bulls, with Cleveland pesky as they are, allowing Cleveland to get a second wind here with nearly 5 minutes remaining in the fourth. And the visiting team win game 5 again. Price. And the rebound by Pippen. Earlier, it was Milwaukee over Atlanta. Here's Grant going against Price and an offensive foul. And more important, that's number 5 on Horace Grant. One more and he's gone.
See, that was a tough catch for Grant because as he caught the ball and turned, Mark Price made his defensive commitment. You know, if you're a perfectionist, you'd say, well, Grant should have been looking to pass the ball to the other side because they had a 2-on-1.
Nance guarded by Grant, who has 5. Cartwright playing with 4. 9 on the shot clock. Out to Harper. Harper makes a tough basket because Jordan bumped him, and Cleveland regains the lead as the Cavaliers have scored 6 in a row after trailing by 5. 4:15 to go. Jordan is clobbered by Harper, and that'll be the 3rd on Harper. The Cavaliers have been in the penalty.
See, now watch on this catch as Grant goes for the fake, see, and he steps. All he had to do when he made that catch and turn, if he saw the daylight, that pass should have gone to the right, and they would have had the layup, because in the NBA, you do not get that charge away from the ball.
Here's Michael with 35.
Now, you know, we cannot emphasize this enough. The Chicago Bulls are an excellent foul shooting team, 78% club, and they have already missed 9 today.
One out of 2 for Jordan. Tied at 88 with 4:12 to go. The Bulls still have 1 foul to give. Harper, good perimeter passing. Jordan gets the rebound, bumped by Doherty, and a timeout called by Chicago. And Hodges and Cartwright for Chicago. Elo, Harper, Price, Nance, Doherty for the Cavaliers. Jordan with 36 leads Chicago. 23 for Price. Jordan now with 38, and it breaks the tie. Everything's critical from here on in. Everything.
Here comes Cartwright on that double team. Now Cleveland will rotate the ball. The other side of the floor is wide open.
Nance traveled, and you know, when you have two big people hovering over Nance, and Cartwright 7-1 made it tough for him to see that.
Well, it's interesting that they're using Cartwright, and the reason for that being that Doherty is standing at the top of the circle.
Jordan puts up his index finger. Play number 1. Goes through everyone and misses the layup. Doherty the rebound. Harper. And it'll be a 2-shot foul as Hodges thought he was on the ball, but Jack Madden was right there. So Ron Harper will go to the line to shoot 2. Both teams now in the penalty, and the chance for the Cavaliers to tie the score with that much time remaining.
Very impressed with that pass by Mark Price to be able to see that in traffic, throw the ball at least 40 feet and hit Harper right on a dead run.
So here's Ron Harper, who today is 2 for 3 from the line.
You'll see Price looking up the floor and a cross-section pass there. Little diagonal.
21 for Price, 23 for Price, 21 for Harper. He makes them both. And we have another tie at 90.
From now to the end, it'll be interesting to see if they release Harper every time a shot goes up by the Chicago Bulls.
And if Chicago can get back and stay with him. Jordan down the middle, lays it in, the basket good, and a foul. So Michael Jordan breaks the tie and can give the Bulls a 3-point lead with 2:48 on the clock.
Just watch how Michael Jordan splits 3 people here and goes right to the glass. And it's interesting that they're not going for the shot clock.
Harper's 4th personal foul. And in and out. So it's 92-90 as Jordan again having a tough day from the line. 40 points for Michael Jordan. 92-90. Price off a screen. Here's Elo, spots up for a 3. He's got it. Cleveland by 1.
What a game he's put together today. He's been the free man on the opposite side of the ball all day, and he has looked and he's taken the shot.
19 points for Elo, playing on a sprained ankle. Getting close to the 2-minute mark. Hodges fires up a 3. Cartwright chips it in. A big play by Bill Cartwright. Talk about playing big. And now it's Chicago by 1 with 2 minutes to go.
In case you're wondering, both teams are in the penalty.
And both teams have plenty of timeouts remaining. Hodges fights through the pick. Price fires it up. Rebound, Cartwright. Hodges, good defense that time, fighting around the pick on Price. But now Chicago. Jordan fakes out Elo. Hodges open in the corner. And Grant collides with Nance, and Grant may have fouled out of this one. It is on Horace Grant, and he's gone with his 6th personal foul.
He's going to be missed. We're talking about, never mind the point factor.
Rebound.
He's averaging 15 rebounds a game in this playoff series.
And down the stretch in a game like this, you need the best rebounders you can get. Brad Sellers will replace him in the lineup. And Grant goes out having scored 12 points and 5 rebounds. So now Sellers, who is from Warrensville Heights, Ohio, right in this neighborhood and starred at Ohio State and was one of the Big Ten's top rebounders, now has the pressure on him. You see a lot of timeouts left for both. Cleveland's free throw shooting has been terrific. The Lakers have opened up an 8-point lead over the Seattle Sonics in game 1 of their series. Nance, 6 for 7 from the line. And now Cleveland has the lead and a timeout called by Chicago. 95-94 Cleveland.
Well, if I'm Lenny Wilkins, I cannot continue to allow Michael Jordan to come off of any pick and roll situation. with outright trapping him and forcing Michael to give up the basketball. Right now, the stepping out and the semi-switch is being broken down because Michael is so clever with the basketball. It'll be interesting now, though, to see if Doug gives Michael the ball in a clear-out situation from the wing or from the top of the circle.
40 points for Michael Jordan. Every possession. There's the clear out. Elo guarding Jordan. Double teamed by Rollins. 8 on the shot clock. Jordan now funneled to the middle, and Scottie Pippen fires a 3 and hits with 1 second on the clock. Scottie Pippen hits a big three-point basket. And remember, last year, Pippen was the hero along with Jordan in the deciding game at Chicago Stadium to give the Bulls the victory.
Teams are shooting the penalty.
And have been for quite a while. Winding down to a minute to go. Jordan is on Harper. Doherty is playing up on top. 2-point lead for Chicago, 97-95. Harper leaves it for Elo, goes for 3 and Craig Elo is having a career game today. 4 3-point baskets gives the Cavaliers a 98-97 lead. That's his second 3-point hoop in the last minute and a half. Jordan didn't get fouled at the baseline. Good Cleveland defense. There's the clock. 19 on the shot clock. And a 1-point Cleveland lead.
The thing you do not want to do now is foul. The most important thing is to get them to miss the shot.
Nance puts it up. Misses the shot. Who gets the rebound? It's Chicago's ball. It's out of bounds off of Elo. And Chicago will call a timeout with 19 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. High drama here at Richfield Coliseum in the 5th and deciding game of this series.
Well, this is the shot where Nance takes it up, and here we have just massive bodies going. If ball was definitely off Elo that time, get it inbounds and get it up the floor. Chicago has a 20-second timeout and a regular timeout.
Pippen brings it across, defended by Harper. 11 seconds to go.
In the middle of the floor.
Jordan has it. And Jordan puts up a jumper and hits with 6 seconds to go. Jordan hits the basket and now has 42 points in the game, and the Cavaliers have called a timeout. They have 1 timeout remaining, and Michael Jordan, who was not an impressive shooter at all in the first half, has 28 points in the second half, including these 2 big ones to give Chicago the lead. Now, Elo was hit in the face, but that might have been just incidental contact.
Yeah, answered by Doherty.
Elo will inbound. He gets it into Nance, gets the ball back, drives to the hoop, and lays it in with 3 seconds to go. Two injured Warriors, Elo with an ankle, Price with an injured groin, have played the games of their lives, considering the outs left. Sellers has Jordan. Jordan with 2 seconds to go, puts it up, and scores at the buzzer! Michael Jordan has won it for Chicago! Michael Jordan hit the basket at the buzzer as a disconsolate Lenny Wilkins leads the floor, and for the second time today, the visiting team has won the deciding game in an opening round series, and the Chicago Bulls will move on to play the New York Knicks.